There's one less hassle if you're going to be passing through Atlanta's airport. The federal government said it's no longer going to require you to take your shoes off when you fly out of Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport or any other airport across the country. That no shoes rule was implemented nearly 20 years ago after Richard Reed tried to blow up an American Airlines flight from Paris to Miami with explosives hidden in his shoes. That was December of 2001. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says the policy change is a sign that ways to detect threats today are much more advanced.
We have a multi-layered, whole-of-government approach now to security and to the environment that people anticipate and experience when they come into an airport that has been honed and it's been hardened.
Secretary Noem said that rules for removing a belt, coat, or taking items out of a bag such as laptops or liquids are still in effect.